And we'll get to the first 30 minutes of that game yesterday, which may have been, and I've watched a lot of football, and I know you have as well. That might have been the ugliest 30 minutes of NFL football in my lifetime. That's not hyperbole. Means we are back, and we're back on schedule here because it's not a Victory Wednesday, it's a Victory Monday.
Right.
And as ugly as yesterday was, it's still nice to have a win and to be sitting here in the playoffs as we speak right now, with some rooted interest in tonight's game and a couple of games next week. And we could be sitting here next week with everything wrapped up if things go according to plan.
That's crazy, man.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean,
it's just nuts.
It's in their hands regardless. Like, they can go out, and if they can just go out and win out, they're in.
Well, they don't even need to win week 18, the way I look at it.
Yeah,
they just win next week and have a couple of other things fall their way, and it's over. They're locked in at least to make the playoffs.
And those are lock losses we're talking about. You
know,
Minnesota's going to lose.
Right.
They probably lose twice.
Yeah, they got Green Bay next week on the road. I would hope Green Bay would really want to just pulverize them, to be honest with you.
That's exactly what's going to happen because it's a division game, number one. Number two, you're looking at what you're asking Minnesota to do is they just can't accomplish that. Green Bay at this point needs to have that win just to solidify their number one spot because Dallas is still in the hunt. Yeah. Dallas is only a game behind.
Right. And we got a lot to talk to about that game too last night. I didn't watch 1 second of it because as soon as I turned it on, it was already 21-0. I'm like, I'm going to bed. And then I woke up this morning and looked at the score, and what was it, 56-14 or something?
Yeah.
My goodness.
I should have gave him a mercy. One of those mercy games where you just over 30 points. You can just stop playing.
The NFL could have given a mercy to a lot of NFL football fans this weekend because it was garbage for the most part. And we'll get to the first 30 minutes of that game yesterday, which may have been, and I've watched a lot of football, and I know you have as well. That might have been the ugliest 30 minutes of NFL football in my lifetime. That's not hyperbole.
Bro, usually I say there's some great that can come out of the game when you're watching it, a scheme or something. Bro, there wasn't a scheme that was keeping these teams from scoring, a scheme to keep them from doing this or making the other team stop doing that. It wasn't none of that. It was just bad football. They just was trying to give it to each other, and neither team wanted it. They were like, all right, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it.
Right.
It was just bad football.
Yeah, I know. You're one that says there's no such thing as bad football.
Right.
But yesterday was bad football for
usually you can see. Exactly. Usually you can see, all right, schematically somebody's doing something to stop something else.
Right.
It was none of that. No. It was no great play by athletes out there playing and stopping guys. Yeah. It was nothing, as far as schematics, as far as a safety coming in, a linebacker blitzing, or on offense, they're just running the ball down. It was none of that. It was just bad football play from both teams not giving a damn about what was going on the field.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
It didn't seem like either team was focused and really ready to play. I mean, it started a very ominous beginning when you fumble the opening kickoff, and luckily they got the ball back. There was a bunch of fumbles, dropped passes, just absolutely just horrendous, missed kicks.
INT.
Yeah, right. Slay. I mean, you couldn't have had an easier interception along the sideline. And I guess, if you want to throw him a bone, I guess maybe the sun got in his eyes. I don't know, but whatever. It was just one play after another. And Jake Fromm does not belong in the NFL. Okay. They'd have been better with Jake from State Farm, maybe in that first half. I think they might have at least maybe put up 2 field goals or a touchdown instead, but that was some god awful quarterback play.
It was, man.
My goodness. I mean, it's bad when you have to go to Glennon, when you have to go back to Glennon. You know what I mean?
And he comes in with a 6'7" deer with the lights in the head,
lights in the deer in the headlights.
Deer in the head. He was the worst. The worst. I'm looking at him like, yo, Give me some type of athletic prowess, man.
Yeah.
Give me something out there. Show why you're 6'7".
How is he still in the league?
Well, he showed that he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He definitely showed that he shouldn't be. There's no way that things could have been any worse than what it was in that first half. Period, man.
But
first half was the worst football I ever saw.
I know you're Mr. Positive, and I'm going to be Mr. Glass Half Full here and look for some positivity. Jalen Reagor actually contributed to the win yesterday.
Bro, he had a kickoff return, was it 49 yards, 50 yards?
He had a punt return of 39 yards, yeah.
Well, it amped the team to get ready and get busy.
Yeah, at the beginning of that second half, they had the interception from McLeod on, I think, what was it, the third play of the second half?
Yeah.
Which gave them great field position at the New York Giants' 21-yard line. They then had a touchdown called back because of a penalty. I believe it was Quez Watkins, I think. But then they got the ball to Jordan Howard a couple of times, one through the air, a couple of runs, and then Boston Scott takes it into the end zone, and all of a sudden you're off. And then the Giants go 3 and out, and here you get the Reagor punt return, which brings it all the way down to the New York Giant 21 again. So they were set up with great field position for their first 2 possessions of the second half, and they took advantage of it with 10 points, and they were off and running.
Yeah, and then it just snow plowed and just there's no way that the Giants were interested in doing anything in football after that.
No.
They just gave up. You could tell in their demeanor, you could see in their faces, all right, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
They'll keep running the clock. Wasn't that one of the fastest games I've watched also, man?
Yeah.
First half went by so fast. Second half was even better.
It needed to be faster. Actually, I could have done with another half hour of my day doing something else. But how about Jordan Mailata? Baldy put this up on his Instagram this morning. Jordan Mailata ragdolling Leonard Williams yesterday. That. Did you see that play?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I woke up to that this morning. I'm like, that is awesome.
I was privy to that and watched it. I'm like, look at this here, man. Look, and then did you see what happened to Did you watch the Washington game?
No, I did not.
Oh no. My goodness.
21-0. I turned it on. It was 21-0. I'm like, this game's over.
There was a fight on the field.
Well, I saw on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Jonathan Allen and Payne went at it. Somebody punched
college.
somebody.
I mean, these guys played in college together.
They're buddies.
Playing buddies. But why would you do that? Why would you put your finger in a man's face on TV?
I used to do that back at the old place.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Why not? But, yeah, I did. I saw that this morning, too. And that's just frustration running over. I mean, that team defensively has given up a ton of yards and points over the last couple of weeks, man. It's just it's all come unraveled for Washington, and that's who's on deck next week. And by my count, Barrett, we root for the Miami Dolphins tonight because that would put the Saints at 7-8. And if the Eagles take care of Washington next week, the Saints are out and Atlanta is out because the best that those teams could then do would be to tie the Eagles, and they have tiebreakers over both of those squads. So if Minnesota loses to Green Bay, they're 7-9 and they're out, and you're guaranteed a playoff spot. Guaranteed.
We're all good, man. We're all good. We got that extra week wrapped up. So there's going to be football in the second week of January, unless the Eagles go out there and lose against the Washington football team, in which I doubt that seriously.
Well, they're 3.5-point favorites the last I checked on the road at Washington. So, could Washington just rise up for one more good, solid effort at home, after they've been embarrassed? Perhaps. I can't count it out, but one thing I can definitely be sure of is their quarterback is going to throw it to the other team.
No, there's no question.
That's what he does. He's got 14 interceptions. What did he have, 2 yesterday in the first quarter?
And everybody's talking to Heineke's back. Heineke's back. Bro, I said last week when we played against the Washington football team that it didn't matter who was at the quarterback position. They could have Heineke back.
Right.
He sucks. You know what I mean? He sucks.
Yeah,
I wasn't worried about him last week. Everybody's like, well, what if he comes back from protocol? So what? Let him come back.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
there's nobody that scares you at that position for them right now.
No.
But I guess he threw one to Diggs early on, and then he threw one that was returned for a touchdown later on in the first quarter.
Yes.
And that must have been right after that when I turned it on. It was 21-0. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. My
it was
goodness.
out atrocious, man.
I actually felt bad for Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth having to narrate the rest of that game and make it sound interesting.
There was nothing interesting about it, Harry. I'm telling you, man. They could do nothing. In fact, the second half, into the fourth quarter, you could see how, they were trying to reel it in and give some positives. This tight end that they had, it's like a fifth string tight end comes in. He shows the will to not give up. He has a 30-yard run after catch, and he's still fighting and trying to get the extra yardage. He's just trying to make sure that he's going to make the squad next year. That's what he was doing.
Right.
He wasn't worried about being, a superhero. He just wanted to make sure, all right, look, coaches, I'm not giving up. Give me the rock again. I'll do something with it. That was it, man. That was the worst. That was by far one of the worst games. In fact, I didn't even watch. After that play right there, I just stopped watching.
You did?
I stopped watching. After that, I stopped watching. It was nothing else to look at after that.
Yeah, well,
I changed the channel.
I had watched, obviously, the first half of the Eagles-Giants, and I stuck in for the second half, of course, because I had to see if they could pull it out, and they did. And then after the fat guy touchdown to Lane Johnson, which, how about that flex from Nick Sirianni? Here he has his squad playing one of the ugliest games of the season.
Right.
And he's going to flex against the Giants and throw a touchdown to an offensive lineman.
And they're up by like 17 or something like that.
You talk about rubbing your nose in it.
Well, you know what? Harry, they're going into the playoffs, man. I thought it was kind of stupid that they did that, though.
You did.
Why didn't they save that for later on?
I know. Well, it's a good point. I didn't think about that. I assume you were talking about that on the post-game show yesterday.
Yeah. There's two ways you could think about it. All right, you save it, and you had it in you have it in your repertoire of if you have to have it,
right?
You could bring it up. Or you could think of it like this. All right, that's just one more thing for that defense to worry about when they get down
consider,
there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you bring in Toth as the extra lineman, and then you put Johnson as an eligible, and all of a sudden the red flags will go up with the team you're playing, and then you can maybe run something else off of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I see what you're saying. It almost seemed a little bit unnecessary at that point against that team in that spot. It was a great play. Don't get me wrong. I love the play. And the way the rest of the team reacts to that is just really cool. All those linemen, they just love it. Even if they are not the one catching the touchdown, they just love it.
Well, it's one of those things where, everybody loves the big guy to score. And I was goal line tight end the last 4 years of my career and never got one ball thrown to me.
Is that right?
And, bro, I would get a ball thrown to me every day at practice. And I had some spectacular catches in practice.
Right.
Falling out of bounds, catching it,
like Devontae Smith yesterday.
Yeah, I did just like that one time, man. Just like that. The whole team went nuts, man.
Yeah.
They went nuts. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it this week. And
yep.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh man!
Russ Grimm was my guy too. Russ Grimm, one of the original Hogs. Played and watched for all those years. And he's got me hyped up. Woo! We gonna put it in this week. Then we get in. The night before, and we're wherever city we're in, and we're going through the game plan and everything. And then we get to all right, goal line plays. Get the goal line plays, and I look at the goal line sheet. And I say, I raise my hand, hey coach. Yeah, poor child. What's up, coach? I don't see the tight end passing here. Goal line tight end passing it. Yeah, we know
the one where I'm the tight end,
right? we all see it.
Yeah, right.
It's not in for a purpose.
It's not in.
But we ran it in practice,
right?
And that's why we're not running it this game.
We ran it well.
Yeah, we ran it well. But look, and you caught it well too. But we're not running that, Brooks.
Nope, not happening. But how about that catch by Devontae Smith? First of all, it was a really good throw.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that gets lost in the fact of the way he did the toe drag and everything, and just the body control and maintaining the ball through the process of the catch and all that nonsense. But how about the fact that it was like they reviewed it twice? They said it didn't count, and then we come back and it says, "Oh, wait a second, we're going to look at it again." Touchdown.
Well, I'm glad that they did that, man, because it would I'd have been pissed off, man. And it showed, it gave them a sense. All right, we're trying to do this the right way instead of, trying to save face.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was stand up for them to do that, man. Because a lot of refs been like, man, I made this call. Let me just stick with it. I'm just gonna ride it to the wave.
I've never seen that before, though.
Me neither.
Have you?
Me neither. Never.
Like I'm wondering how that went down. Like, was the call made by, let's say the booth, and then they decided to look at it again as the officials, and they how did that work out? Was that coming from New York?
You know what? I think so. I think so.
Because when I saw it live first time, I had to go back and rewind it because it happened so fast. I went back and rewound it, watched it a second time. I'm like, that's a touchdown,
right? All day.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the dust and rubber coming up from the
right
from the field of him dragging it.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of that type of turf is that you can see when contact was made, whether it was inbounds or not, because you could see the only way those little particles of rubber are going to fly is if the toe or the foot actually touched the ground.
Exactly.
So I didn't think that was that big of a call or difficult of a call, but apparently it was. But what a great catch, great throw. Then you had, of course, the Lane Johnson touchdown, and then Singleton with a pick six.
That's his second one in his football career now, huh?
Is that right?
Yeah, he had one against 49ers last year.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I like Singleton.
Yeah.
And I like the way he plays the game. Is he an impact linebacker like the Wagner or something like that? He's not that type of guy, but he is a consistent guy now.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards has become a consistent guy. I think all we need now is a big time hit you in the mouth type of linebacker, man. I think we'll finally have the linebacking core where we need it. But we need that one guy, that Junior Seau-esque type of, Joey Porter type of, I'm just going to go out there and rip your heart out type of guy. We don't have that.
No, we don't.
We need that type of guy.
I was a little disappointed that they allowed the Giants to score a touchdown. Because the Giants did not deserve a touchdown.
No, they didn't.
Seriously.
Man. No, they didn't.
They could be the worst team in football right now.
And we were discussing it in the newsroom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Giants have the audacity to act like the Jets are really bad when they're just as bad as they are. In fact, they might be worse than what at least the Jets have a future to look at.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have a future to look at it with the Giants.
Well, now, wait a second, though. We got the gift that keeps on giving. We got an extra Christmas gift. It was almost like that. You forgot you had one. It kind of got buried underneath the tree with all the other stuff, and it got pushed to the back underneath the last bough of the evergreen tree, and you said, wait, there's another box back there.
Yeah.
And you pull it out and you open it up, and it's Adam Schefter's telling him that sources say that the coaching staff or the head coach and the quarterback are coming back.
Yes. That they deserve. Let me say they deserve one more year to see if they can get it right.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
We all deserve that year.
Right. But hey, you're right, man. I mean, they said, but there are going to be some internal, what is it, like some type of internal reviews on other places in the organization. We're just saying, Gettleman's out of there, huh?
Right. I think that's basically code for Gettleman's done.
Yeah. So, I guess he's out. I mean, he's the gift that keeps on giving. We need him back.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they need to just fire the running back coach or something, maybe something like that, man. But everybody else just stay.
Yeah, but, you said you bring up the running back. How utterly useless is Saquon Barkley on that team?
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like, just think about wasted ability, just a wasted career thus far.
I mean, he's in the worst position. He's on a bad team. They don't know how to use him. His offensive line sucks. So he's going to get beat up, and he's going to get the tar kicked out of him because they don't have an offensive line that could help him play. He is a talent, man, that's just not being used. I mean, that's the worst thing for that kid, man. I feel sorry for him, man. I really do, man. I feel sorry for him.
Now, we got a question here on the stream from Guns350. I'm going to let you handle this because I don't even know what he's talking about. But he says, why does Hurts squat so low in the shotgun? I never even really noticed. Does he squats really low?
He just started that for real. like being that low. He was low. He was a lot lower this last game, and I noticed that. I guess it's when you. To me, I think it's because they run the ball so much, and Kelsey has to get off on the snap count. He has to run or he has to pull or something like that. All the snaps have been coming lower.
Okay.
Because of that, because he has a snap and move. When you're just, playing pass, then you can stand up kind of upright and you can drop back and they give you a view of the field, and he looks up and he can get the view of the field. But when it's a run play, when he knows he has the fake hand the ball off or whatever it is, I think he gets lower because he understands that Kelsey is going to be lower because that's how he's able to go out there and do all the thing in the run game. And and it's different, as the snaps are different from the pass to the run. So maybe that's the key you need to look at. I'm gonna go back and look at it also. On passing plays, is he higher? On run plays, is he lower? Because that's a key to defensive players to use also. And that's something that I would watch film if I was, a defensive lineman or a linebacker. I would watch film to see if it varied between snaps between a run play and a pass play.
Now,
I noticed that also, especially in the red zone. He got a lot lower in the red zone.
Okay. Well, good question there from Guns. But what did you make of all the dropped passes early on in that game? I mean, is that just a situation where the team is just not really focused? Harry, and you're coming in there thinking, well, this is Jake Fromm. This is an easy win. Let's just, get it over with.
It was some BS that we were passing the ball. In fact, I couldn't believe that. I mean, that's what we really need to be talking about in that first half. The first 7 plays, 6 of them were pass and 1 was run. And the one run they had was for 11 yards. So you would think after that they would go in and start running the ball, but no. The very next play, they did a pass play, and he dropped the ball on that play.
Right, and this is after you ran it for 200 plus on this team a couple of weeks ago.
It's an absolute travesty that they only had 130 yards rushing in the game against the Giants.
Well, I mean, Sanders got hurt. He only played the first half, and that's the other thing too. This injured hand apparently has a broken bone in the hand.
Yep.
Is this going to be something that is going to be bothering him going forward? Will he be able to play next week?
I played with Deuce. Deuce broke his hand. He just carried it in the other hand. He just didn't flip it over when he was, when going on the sideline. Usually when you go to the sideline, you put it on the hand.
You wanted it on the offhand. You wanted it away from contact.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he just kept it in one hand and didn't worry about it. So, I mean, he can still play. They didn't need to put him back out there. You know what I mean? So that's why he didn't come out, because, Howard came in, was balling. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not worried about Sanders. He'll be able to play. And against his Washington football team, I doubt if they're going to even need them. They've already checked out. They're done.
You think they're checked out?
They just got trounced just now by Dallas.
I know, on national television by their rival. You think they're going to check out? They're not going to try to bounce back from that with some pride?
Out. They're fighting on the sidelines. That team is done, over with. Done. Stick a fork in them. But they got to make sure, the Eagles got to make sure they go out and take care of business. That's the problem. If they don't go out and take care of business, they can give them a little hope, and that's where you get into some bad football.
Well, yeah, right. We've seen these really slow starts the last couple of weeks, right?
But you can't help yourself if you go out there and you start passing the ball. I don't know. I mean, they did the same thing at the first Giants game. Why is that?
I don't know.
Why do you come out passing the ball against this Giants team? And by the way, they were 26 against the run.
I know, but I just think that that's really what they want to do. They want to. Eventually, that's where they want to be.
But seriously, we got a problem there, man. We got a serious problem because we don't really have the personnel to go out and drop back pass like that. We don't have the quarterback, number one, to be a drop back passer. Number two, the offensive line.
The offensive line doesn't pass block all that well, right?
That's what I'm saying. They're not. That's not really what their strength is. Their strength is coming off the ball and hitting people in the mouth, using their size, not sitting back and pass blocking. And it's not necessarily guys on the outside. I'm cool with Mailata and I'm cool with Johnson. It's those interior guys. I mean, Herbig is not a pass blocking guard.
No.
He's a run blocking guard.
He's a straight ahead guy.
Exactly. Dickerson's the same thing.
Yeah.
Dickerson wants to maul people. So having him pass, it's just not playing with the strength.
Yeah, but do you think he can pass block?
Well, they all can.
Yeah,
but they're not good at it. That's why it's hard for Hurts to step up and throw the ball, because the interior gets pressed back so fast. And there lies the problem.
Well, now we got a couple of Cowboy fans
I
that
see
have
it.
invaded the chat, and I think one is leaving right now. He just had to say a couple things,
Well,
and
no,
now
it
he
can't be.
peaced out.
Well, see, he didn't understand. I've already made my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to lose the game against the Eagles the last game, regardless if they need it or not.
Could that even be a Gardner Minshew game against Cooper Rush?
If that's the case, we would still win that game.
Because I mean, if the Eagles have already clinched by then,
and we have clinched,
right? Isn't there a possibility that could be the case? Because you're playing one another, you're going to play them the next week anyway, most likely. 2 versus 7.
Yep.
So, wouldn't that be something?
That would be amazing.
Now there is still a way
Cooper Rush against Gardner
Minshew and Cooper Rush, a whole lot of Boston Scott.
Right.
And there is a chance still that I guess they could get the 6th seed too.
Yes, there is. That's
because San Francisco has to play Houston, which somehow beat the Chargers yesterday. So this is why the same old Chargers. You just cannot trust the Los Angeles Chargers.
No, you can't.
They lose that game inexplicably. But San Francisco plays them at home next week. They play Houston, and then they play the Rams. And I don't know if the Rams are going to care about that game.
No.
At that point.
Well, I mean, the Rams, they can still win the division. Right now, the Cardinals and the Rams are still neck and neck.
Well, yeah, the Rams are winning the division right now.
Yep.
I mean, they're in the 3 seed.
Yep.
And Tampa locked in at least the 4th seed. They'll probably stay there.
Well, that's what they're trying. They're trying to win the division still, so they can lock that spot up.
What if Dallas beats Arizona next week, though? And then Arizona's cooked.
Well, then they're dropping down to like 5, 6.
Well, they're at 5. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they can get to 6 because they're 2 wins ahead of San Francisco already.
Right.
With only 2 games to go. I don't know what the tiebreak situation would be there, but I would probably think that Tampa against Arizona is probably what's going to happen in round 1, the 4 versus 5.
Well, where's let me see where the in this whole division matchup thing, where are the 49ers right now?
The 49ers are the 6th seed.
They're the 6th seed.
And they have the same record as the Eagles, but they have the tiebreaker based on head-to-head.
Right.
So, the Eagles, if they win next week, 9-7, if the Niners lost, they'd be 8-8, then you would jump them.
Right.
The Niners win their 9-7 and would go to week 18, where you could still possibly pass them.
Well, their next game, they play the Texans, so they'll beat the heck out of the Texans.
Well, I think the Chargers were saying the same thing about that yesterday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By 3:45, it was a different story.
Right. I guess he had the nachos.
Yeah, exactly right. I got the jalapenos on the nachos. And they came out and won a football game.
Right. So they got them, and then they got the Rams in week 18.
Week 18. Yeah. That's the crazy thing about projecting this stuff. You just don't know based on these crazy tiebreakers. Like at this point, if the Rams will need a win, and if they don't need a win, maybe they rest guys.
Well, you know what, Harry, I can remember back when I was, when the schedule first came out. And I was playing around. I was like, they're going to win 11 games because I'm thinking, but I was like, I was just saying that just because I was thinking like back in the day when I was playing against the teams that were, on the schedule. But then I gave my realistic point was they're going to win 9 games this year. And I stuck with it. We're going to win 9 games this year.
Well, and
lo and behold,
you're going to be right. You're going to be right with 9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all the non-believers, I told you they're going to win at least 9 games. Then also, I'm telling you, this Dallas game.
Yeah.
Week 18. Mark it up.
Right.
Write a picture. Saying that I said it. Take a video. They are beating Dallas week 18.
They could have here, going back to the New Orleans game, Trevor Siemian, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Garrett Gilbert, Jake Fromm, and then maybe they get Kyle Allen next week, and then they get Cooper Rush in week 18. I mean, could you you realize this? Half those guys shouldn't even be in the league.
Right. Bro, it's like this is like
What luck.
Like 2017, man.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened in 2017. Look at all the bad quarterbacks we played that season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We played a bunch of bad quarterbacks that season and end up winning the Super Bowl. Not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl, but it kind of lined up the exact same way. And everything's lined up for this Eagles to be successful, man. The way it turned out, the tail end of the season.
Yeah.
Things are working, man. Things are working. Now, they can't lay an egg, man. They got to go out and beat this Washington team.
Yeah, they got to go out and take care of them. It would be nice if they could just start out with the first quarter and score on a couple of their first drives and just make it a rock and share ride. Let me sit back in the lazy boy with my feet up.
Nick is hard-headed, man. Nick is hard-headed. He wants to throw it, man. I could not believe it. It took everything in me not to jump up and throw NBC Sports TVs in that meeting. In a newsroom. I was so hot, man. I wanted to destroy something. I could not believe we kept throwing the ball, man.
Take us in there. Next segment. We got a break. We got to take a short time out, but we'll be back. Take us inside there while you and Seth were watching that god-awful performance from both teams in the first half, and we'll be back with more right here on The Middle. Smash that like button on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Back in 3.